Have you ever lived in a world without Chhota Bheem?
Welcome back to Tea with Teens, guys. Now we have lost the count of which episode we are filming. Well, recording, not filming. But yeah, welcome to another episode. Today, I am going to interview Charvi.
Well, in case you did not know, guys, I think you probably don't know, but I'm just gonna address it. I was born in a country called Zambia, which is in Africa. And speaking of countries in Africa, people usually say that Africa is a country, which really, really pisses me off. And it's a continent, people. And so I was born in Zambia. I stayed there for approximately 11 to 12 years. And then I came to India. So today's episode is all about how different our lifestyles are, like Dhruvi's and mine. And so we're going to be talking about that today.
Yeah, because I was born and brought up in India. That's why both of us have not a lot of, but both of us have differences in how we were brought up and how our life was.
Yeah.
So let's begin. Okay, Miss Charvi, the first question is, how was the climate over there?
The climate was really nice. Well, during the summers it would get really hot, but not like humid. You could actually You could actually feel your skin like burning. So you'd not sweat that much, but you'd feel your skin burning, and you'd have to stay inside the home the whole day. But during the evening, it would get cooler during the summers. Well, I don't think that happens a lot over here, but over there was like that. During winters, it was really, really cold. In the morning, you'd see, like, when you talk and breathe, you can see like the air that you're exhaling in the morning.
I used to love that when I was a kid.
Same. So every morning I used to like experience that. It was like very, very cold. We had to wear gloves and all of that. So like extreme climate. And during the rainy seasons, it would rain.
Obviously.
No, but like, I think the rainy seasons over there, see, in India, in geography, we used to study last year, ki the rain is very unpredictable and all of that. But over there, it's not like that.
But I didn't pay attention, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Thank God the boards got cancelled, Hannah.
But I left that for option only. Like it was an optional.
Even I also left it. I hate that chapter. So what about you, Dhruvi? How's the climate over here? Well, I know, but you answer.
You know. Well, the climate is very warm. One word. It's always hot, guys. Even during the winters, during the afternoons, it's always hot. And if it rains so much. And if it's cold, it is not very cold compared to other places where it is like snowing and all. But for me, it is very cold. So yeah, right now it is extremely hot. So you can't really stay without electricity. Like when you have power cuts right now, it's almost unbearable. Second question to Charvi. How was your lifestyle over there? As in, what did you usually do? What did your day usually comprise of?
Okay, so I'd go to school from 7:30 to 4. Yeah. And like after I get back from school, I pretty much wouldn't study like at all. And I'd just do like homework. I just do homework and just do time pass. And on like every Friday, I used to have art classes. So I'd attend those, and it was like really fun. I miss art classes a lot. And during the weekends, we'd usually get together, like me and a couple of friends and our families, and have these like potlucks and braais and all that. Over here, I haven't been to a lot of like barbecues, which is interesting because not a lot of people like are non-vegetarian, so I miss that a lot. But yeah, almost every weekend we'd have some plan, like either to go for brunch or breakfast or to go on a road trip. Why are you
I'm
looking
jealous.
at me like that?
So we do such kind. Okay, Charvi, you said that you did a lot of time pass. Now, in case you aren't aware, we have international audience, so they don't know what time pass is.
I'm pretty sure they know what it means because it's very self-explanatory. But
Still,
time pass
just
is
explain it to
how
them.
people kill time. Oh, and
How
this
people
this
pass time.
yeah.
How
Okay,
people
so
pass time.
this phrase "kill time" it reminds me of this video I saw yesterday by this stand-up comedian called Kenny Sebastian that I love. So you guys should
I
go
have to
check him
watch
out.
that video.
You should. It's like really good.
I haven't watched that video yet. Yeah, continue.
And yeah, like over here, a lot of kids like they go around to play with their friends in the society and all, but over there is no like one society. Like it's all individual plots, and you don't get to socialize a lot with the kids around you. So it was like I have a younger brother that made a cameo in our last episode. So we just irritate each other and usually like make sand castles or something like that. That
Wow.
sounds so boring.
So we were talking about time pass, right? In the West, it's called pastime. It's what you do to pass your time.
Pretty
I'm
self-explanatory.
speechless now. I'm actually thinking of Kanan Gill's stand-up
Yeah,
segment,
I love
that time
Karan
pass.
Gill. Oh my god.
I introduced her to most of the stand-up comedians, by the way. So,
Whatever.
anywho, so my lifestyle pretty much changed like every day.
Then you can't call it lifestyle only na.
Man, my daily, yeah, that's what I'm
Routine
saying, yeah.
changes every day.
Yeah,
Usko bhi
sorry.
routine you can't call.
I did have
Basically,
kind of like
Dhruvi
a
is dumb.
lifestyle.
Yeah.
I'm a spontaneous person. Well, yeah, I wouldn't call it my lifestyle, but like the basic routine I used to have when I was young, like when I was around 3 to 4 years. Yeah, it was like wake up, get dressed, have breakfast, go to school. School started at 9. Well, I'm talking about when I was in preschool. Okay, school started at 9. Then you come back home at like 1:30, have lunch, then just binge watch Chhota Bheem for like a lot of time. And then my mom would come home from work and then she would, okay, get this. My mom would scold me for not studying in preschool.
Oh my god. Who even studies in preschool?
No, right? I mean, I didn't do my coloring and pattern writing and all. So,
Missing out on some really
yeah.
important stuff, huh?
That is why I can't draw now. You know that? I have terrible drawing skills.
No wonder your mom made you take calligraphy classes.
But I can write. I can't draw.
Of course, you can write.
No, I mean calligraphy writing.
Acha, okay. I was like, what are you even saying?
Pretty decent.
How can you count that as an
decent handwriting.
accomplishment? Hi, people. I'm Dhruvi Vaishnav and I can write.
Okay, yeah. And then what did I used to do? Oh, yeah, I used to play with my society friends. Charvi. Jealous.
Not
In the
really.
evening.
I don't like socializing, so I'm glad I didn't have to go through that.
And you have a podcast. Great.
But I'm talking to you. I'm not talking to a million
Yeah.
people.
Technically, the entire world can listen to us, but sure, whatever.
Whatever.
As I was saying, I'm a terrible drawer.
Draw. Dhruvi
That was lame.
Dhruvi cannot for the life of her store kapde inside of her because she's a drawer. But she can't even do that. Oh my god, I'm the one who's supposed to be the mature one and not make the cheap jokes. Oh my god. Dhruvi, you're a bad influence. I just stopped talking to you.
Oh my god. No.
I'm sorry, everyone, that you had to listen to this really, really bad joke. I'm so sorry for that.
1 second. I had this joke, knock joke. I need to tell you. Wait. Knock.
Who's there?
Urine.
Urine who?
You're insecure. Don't know what for. You're turning heads when you walk through the door. Don't need makeup to cover up. Being
Guys,
the
I'm
way that you
sliding
are
down
is
my
enough.
chair to hide my face from this embarrassment. And
This
you know,
is
I was
called quality.
shut up. I thought you were talking about pee when you said urine. And I'm like, why are you talking about pee? God save me from her.
Moving on. Charvi.
Yes.
What was the okay? I sound so boring when I say this sentence, but how was the education over there?
Oof. Damn. Well.
Maybe the smartest thing I have said.
Sorry to all our teachers listening to this. We don't mean to hurt
Oh yeah,
you.
there are teachers listening to this. Oh no.
Yeah, good morning. So the education over there was flawless. Flawless in terms of I didn't have to study anything, but it was like full of flaws
1
in
second,
terms
my
of
eraser fell down.
curriculum.
Okay, I
Well,
continue.
it wasn't that rigorous. Over here, everyone's like studying every day, except for Dhruvi. Dhruvi doesn't study like ever. So
Don't expose me.
I think people can figure that out already. So moving on. Like even before the exam, like an exam, I would just like skim through my textbook, not even read it properly, just skim through it. And we always had multiple choice type questions. So even if you don't know the answer, you can just be like, oh, it's probably C. And I wouldn't study that well, and still I would be at the top of my class, not bragging or anything. But I'm just trying to say, even if you didn't study, you'd still get like really good grades. And yeah, I never had any like pressure to do well in exams because I do good at it. And like if you talk about maths, over here the maths is like so complex, but over there we were doing like fractions in grade 6. Like, hello, that's so easy. And over here you're talking about geometry and whatnot and all this. What is this that they're doing in class 11 and 12? Calculus,
I
na?
don't know. I don't know. I haven't taken math.
Neither have I, but general knowledge. So it was never a rigorous curriculum, and we'd have studies like home economics, creative technology studies, and all that. It was actually fun. And oh, since we're talking about school, I'm gonna talk about our student council. Again, I'm not trying to flex or anything, but I was the first
Chavi was
student
the
body.
captain.
I was the first student body president of our student council over there.
Wow.
And people voted for me, y'all. I don't even know how. Okay, this is very funny.
Are they mentally stable?
I'm pretty sure they are, Dhruvi.
Just checking, you know.
Yeah. So, what was I even saying? Yeah. So it's a funny story how I even got appointed as a president, but like I was gonna apply for vice president or like just some random person in the council, like a prefect or something. But then all of my teachers were like, no, you should apply for student body president and you're gonna be fine. I'm like, okay, fine. And then we had this whole campaigning procedure and we had this debate between the candidates that who do better and all that. And at the end, surprisingly, people voted for me. And so
Let's go.
Yes, I was really happy about that. I had requested my headmaster to have this meeting on periods.
Headmaster Dumbledore. Sorry, continue.
Yeah. So I requested my headmaster to have this meeting about periods, and it was like all the female members of the council, and I think girls from grade 6 onwards. So we had this whole conversation, and no teachers were allowed. I strictly said I don't want any teachers to be there so that we can have an open conversation. And they had so many questions, and I was like so happy to answer all of those questions. And yeah, and I'm pretty
Wow,
sad
Shanvi.
that this year we don't have the student council because I was really
Exactly
hoping. Yeah,
because of COVID.
that's pretty much it about my school life. What about you, Dhruvi?
I have been in one school for my entire school life. All right, so my school timings change like every 4 years. Currently, if I were to go to school physically, my timings would be 9 to 3:30. And not the weird thing, the unusual thing is that we have to carry changeover every day to school. So you go in your sports uniform, you play sports for the first 45 minutes, you select you select whichever sport you want to play. And after you're done with that, there is this room which is adjoining the washroom. Like there is one for girls and one for boys. And over there, you change into your school uniform, and then you have assembly, and then you start with your study classes.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then you have, in fact, Charvi is with me during all of this. Like she was in my school only. She is still in my school. Yeah, and then we have our first break at 12:15 or 12,
approximately. I think
12 or
12,
12:15.
15.
12:15, and you get 50. Okay, get it. We have 15 minutes to have to wash our hands, have lunch, socialize, use the washroom, and fill our water bottles. And
And we had
Charvi
two
over
hours.
here had 2 hours. And get this, okay. If you are late, okay. So we have this teacher who used to
Hi,
enter
ma'am.
the class. If you are listening to this, you know who you are. Okay, so she used to come to the class a little extra early, and the people who did not make it on time would have to sit outside the class.
Yeah.
Now, some people, they intentionally did not come on time, and so all of them sat outside the class to have fun.
Mostly the boys. The boys would always do that.
Our day would end with activity. So there are lots of options which you can choose from. Like there is dance, there is public speaking, there is guitar, there is keyboard, there is dramatics. There are so many options. Like earlier, you even had embroidery as an option if you wanted to
Yeah.
take it as your
I
activity.
think it's still
You
there
can
in
play
middle school.
chess, and maybe then you have chess and carom, and you have like many options. So you get half an hour to do that, and then you have like one more period, and then you go home in a bus. Yeah. So mhm,
Ours wasn't like that. Like our parents only like dropped us and pick us up. Um,
mhm.
so now I'd like to focus on the environment. Like over there, it's like greenery. You're surrounded by greenery all around you, and you there are not a lot of buildings. Okay, so in Livingston, it's like a very small town, but if you compare it to the capital of Zambia, that is Lusaka, it's quite different. Like Lusaka is more industrial, and there are more towns and more India like, if you say. But Livingston was a very small residential town, very few buildings, a really well lit community, a lot of greenery. And oh, so one really a good thing I miss about it is that if you go every day for a long drive, like at around 6 p.m. or something, you'd see elephants crossing the road.
That is so cool.
Yeah, like out in the wild. Like it's not, you don't have to go to a sanctuary, you don't have to go to a park to see the animals. But if you go to the outskirts, not even outskirts, like just a few minutes away from the like centralized town, you'd see elephants crossing the road, zebras, hippos, giraffes. Um, what else? Yeah, pretty much it. And then there's this restaurant over there called Avani, and it's my favorite place to go. And over there are zebras and giraffes and deers like roaming around in the restaurant. So
What if they eat your food?
they don't.
What if they do?
Well, I don't know. Oh, speaking of animals eating your food,
Mhm.
so once there was this lady who was like eating like an appetizer, and so she was holding it in her hand, and then a monkey just came, slapped her on the face, and took that food item from her. Like, and I'm not making this up. I actually saw this happening. And I felt so bad for her. She got so scared. She got slapped by a monkey. Oh my god.
I'm laughing silently so much.
I don't think it's silent, Dhruvi.
I have to be silent, or otherwise, you don't want to listen to my laugh, especially if it is being recorded, because then it sounds worse. I feel like I don't need to talk about India because most of our listeners are from India, so they already know.
Yeah, but
But
explain for our international audience. Oh, guys, we have an international audience, and that's really exciting and cool. So, thank you for that.
yeah. So if you are not living in India and if you can listen to us, just pat yourself on the back. Even if you are from India, just go ahead. We appreciate you tolerating
Yeah.
us. So it is kind of similar to what Charvi said. If you go for a drive or something, you can see lot of wildlife. Like you can see cows, buffaloes, dogs, cats, goats, sheep.
I love how you call that wildlife.
And if you're lucky, you can also see donkeys sometimes. Yeah.
I mean, I'm surrounded
And
by a lot of donkeys in my life. So, moving on. No tea, no shade.
and actually near our school mostly during the rainy season, you can actually see peacocks.
Yeah.
That is like amazing. Love
Yep.
it. Like once we were just entering school. We were just entering the school, and on top of one of the buildings, there was this peacock, and it was like drizzling a little. Okay, so it had its feathers all like spread out, and it was dancing on top of the building, in front of
Whoa.
on the top of preschool.
Oh,
Like
I
we were
didn't
just
get to see
entering, our
that.
bus was still like going and parking, and we could see that.
Whoa.
That was a long time ago, but I still remember that. So yeah, so that's
Wow.
about the wildlife found in India. Okay. What kind of time pass did you do, Charvi? Like what kind of TV shows and everything did you do? Watch, not do.
Um, yeah, so according to Dhruvi, I acted in TV shows. But like, what TV shows did you do? Well, I was a part of How I Met Your Mother, the Big
No,
Bang
please.
Theory. You know, all those Big Shot
Charvi,
series.
don't,
Okay,
don't.
she's
Okay, by the
dying
way, I
right
love
now.
the Big Bang Theory.
Clearly,
The TV show, huh? Not the science part.
huh? Also,
I
that
have to
is
specify.
very clear.
Mhm.
I had never watched Chhota Bheem or Doraemon or any of those TV shows. Over there, I'd watch Barney and Friends. Oh, Barney
Me too.
Stinson.
Barney Stinson. Barney Stinson is a character from How I Met Your Mother, whom
Hmm.
I adore.
Me too. So
You like Ted Mosby, huh?
yeah, but Barney is this eccentric character that we cannot
He
overlook.
is this legend. Wait
Wait
for
for
it,
it, Terry.
person. Yeah.
So Barney and Friends, Teletubbies. Teletubbies was really creepy, like
Creepy. Yeah.
very. Then Tom and Jerry, Pink Panther, Ben and Holly's Little Kingdom, Charlie and Lola. Oh my God, those
Oh, I
TV.
used to watch Charlie and Lola too.
And you know, in one of the episodes of Charlie and Lola, she was like Charlie was going, nay, Charlie, nay, Lola was going to get her eyes checked, and she got like glasses.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, even I want glasses. I look so cool in them. And I remember once I had to go to the optician to get my eyes checked. So my mom was like, you might get glasses. And I'm like, yay, I can be like Lola now.
Yeah, so the TV shows I saw were, first of all, the proper Indian TV shows, which I think is a big part of like all Indian children.
Yeah.
I used to watch those shows Charvi hasn't seen. Yeah, so I used to watch Chhota Bheem and Doraemon, and I was actually not allowed to watch Shinchan, but then I started watching it anyway. But I also used to watch the shows which Charvi said. Like I used to watch Pink Panther, Mr. Bean. Not,
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't like
Mr.
the
B.
animated one. I didn't like the animated one a lot. I like the
I
real
really
life
like
one.
I like both of them a lot.
I preferred the real life one more than the animated one. Yeah, then Teletubbies a little. Then Octonauts or something like that. It
I
was it
don't
was
think
it
so.
was there. Yeah, it was something. Then I used to watch Barney, not Stinson, Barney and Friends, and Peppa Pig.
Oh my God, Peppa Pig.
Yeah,
Best show ever.
Charlie and Lola. Oh, and then I didn't know that Sweet Life of Karan and Kabir and the Best of Luck Mickey were actually recreations
Yeah.
of shows. But I used to watch those, and then when I came to that, oh, they are just recreations. I still watched them, but I was a little like plagiarism. But
Well,
yes, I used to watch those shows. And then I just shifted to Disney International. So I used to watch Austin and Ally, Lab
same.
Rats. Yeah. Then what else did I? Oh, Casey
Jesse.
Undercover.
Did you watch Jesse?
Yes. I saw the Indian version of Jessie. Oi Jessie.
Oh my God, no, please stop.
Okay, so one last question, which is for Charvi, because I haven't experienced it. Okay, so Charvi, you moved from Zambia to India when you were like in your pre-teen years.
Yeah.
So, when you told people that you are from Zambia, did they have any assumptions or did you face any stereotypical comments because you were from Africa?
Yeah, I still face them. Well, first of all, people assume that Zambia or any country in Africa is just a jungle. There are no houses, you live in caves. Um, it's just greenery, not the nice type of greenery. The rainforest type of greenery is what surrounds you. And
Jungle
I'm
Book.
like, how? And okay, so I was having this discussion with one of my friends, and he mentioned that I'm pretty sure the Wi-Fi connection, like over here in India, is way better than in Zambia because you used to live in the jungle, right, where there is no Wi-Fi. And I'm like, excuse me? No.
Charlie the caveman.
And if you're listening to this podcast, sir, I'm pretty sure you know it's you. So
I think I know who you're talking about.
yeah, she got it
We
right.
just
Yep.
mouthed his name.
So another thing is that people assume that I do not know anything about the Indian culture. I do not know any of the Indian foods. No, it's not like that. Even though I was born brought up in Zambia, I we used to have Indian food every single day, except for sometimes we'd have this local dish called shima. It's this maize flour porridge thing that you eat with pumpkin leaves or some other type of relish. Over here, people are like, oh, do you know what muthia is? Oh, do you know what undhiyu is? And all these things I mentioned are like Gujarati food. So, yes, I do know what they are, and I have consumed those food items many times, and you do not need to make me feel like some NRI.
Which you are, by the way.
Shut up.
In fact, whenever Charvi talks about that, whenever she compares Zambia with India, like, we had this in Zambia, you don't have this much in India. Like the cheese in Zambia, oh my God, I never have Indian cheese. We always have cheese from Zambia. And all of us are like, yeah, NRI.
Well, I miss the food a lot over there.
Yeah. So that was Charvi making me feel that I should move to Zambia for like an entire episode straight.
You don't want to
Yeah,
go to
that is-
Zambia right now, people, because like the economy is declining like really fast, and that's why we came to India. So even though
For a
it
trip.
has, oh yeah, for a trip we can definitely go.
Yeah, so that is about it for today's episode.
So if you guys want to mention things about the way you guys were brought up, then yeah, sure. Be sure to DM us on Instagram, and the name of our account is Tea with Teens. That is tea.with.teens, and send in your DM suggestions, questions. We're going to entertain all of them. And talking about questions, we asked the people who, well, on Instagram, ask us questions for the podcast, and they disappointed
The
us.
questions, we got one per question. One.
Yeah.
Today's question is from Arshia. She has
Wait.
asked that what kind of changes did our routine have because we started this podcast. So yeah, that was
Yeah.
her question. So the two of us have this like schedule where we record our podcasts on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, and we edit them on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, and we post it on Sunday. We record like one episode on each day.
Yeah, and actually, what's really helped us is that we've both taken humanities, like we're in 11th right now, and we've taken humanities, and it has really given us the time to start something like a podcast that involves a lot of commitment and efforts and time. Whereas if we would have taken something like science or commerce, we wouldn't actually have time to do something like this. So we're really grateful that we can do something like this, and we're really grateful for you guys, and keep on sending your questions, suggestions, DMs. So that's it for today's episode. We'll see you guys next